Okay. I was thinking that I don't need the ring light since it's stay. So we're just gonna go with that, even though I feel like it's a little dark. Let me put on the lamp. Whatever. What's up? Okay, I'm using live on Instagram and it has this big ass. We're telling your followers that you're starting a live, but I'm not telling anyone. Um, because I'm just gonna save it and post it to YouTube. Um, but how's everyone? How's everyone? First and foremost, long time no speak, for real. um, yo, this past week has been crazy. Like, it's been crazy. After the ritual ended, we closed the ritual, and like in that period of closing the ritual, like directly after, it's usually like we don't go past the full moon during a ritual. We try. I know that I make sure that we don't work during the waning moon because that just like pulls energy away or like drains it or like, you know, it's waning. It's going into a dark moon, and that time is good for like banishing and stuff. So I'm like, now when we're like aligning and manifesting in generalness, you know. So I said, so we usually don't work during that time. So reaching up to a full moon, and then it was lunar eclipse, and then it was in Taurus. The energy just like, it's like when you get your period, if you're masculine, um, representing or whatever you want to call it, you don't get your period, but it's like an essence of like, oh my teeth are clean. It's the essence of like gathering all the energy, and now it's like this, it's so stored somewhere and then it must be released. So it was all stored, all gathered, and I just needed to rest. Like my spirit was just like, sleep, rest. I had so much work to do. Every day I have so much work to do in my personal life, in my working life, and all the lives that I live. And it just was so much. It was so much, and I was just like resting and just integrating. And a lot of it is like during a ritual, 7 days, it's back to back to back to back to back of work and conceptualizing and ideas being thrown into the ethers of our ritual group, right? So, you know, there's not that much like downtime really for me, who's like facilitating the whole thing. I have to keep pushing out this insight and this energy, and keep gathering and keep showing up, and you know, and I'm not complaining. I'm just saying what the past week has been like, and why there wasn't no weekly intuitive tarot reading. I'm not justifying or anything. I just want to let you know what goes on in this world of mine. So yeah, it was like a lot of like, just a lot of integration, just like pushing out energy, and then having a minute to just relax and rest into it, and for me to actually, you know, integrate it and apply it where it fits into my life, into my worlds. Because when it's happening for me, it's like I'm downloading messages and energy, and I'm sharing it with the group, and you know, like it's not hard to separate, and I always understand what's going on, but it's like at some point I have to stop and like take the test, you know, like pull back and like integrate everything. So that was going on, and just like living my life, doing what I have to do, and It's a lot. I really was like, you know, like I beat myself up about it a lot because I'm like, I really want to remain consistent, but I'm here. And the work that I do, like, I have to remember that this is not, I'm not a robot, for one. No one's a robot, hopefully. So it's like, you know, when you need to rest, you have to rest. I tell people to do this all the time. And I cannot tell myself not to just because I want to keep working. Like, that doesn't work, you know? So I honor myself and my body. I hope that you had the opportunity to. In the past week or so, this was the last few days of November, and we transitioned into Sagittarius season. And I don't know why. I thought that transition was going to be like a spark of energy, but I realized that Scorpios, like, this is what I realized about Scorpios, especially Scorpio men in particular. They have this ball of fire and energy. Like, they align closely with the Sagittarius masculinity versus the Scorpio woman, who is a little bit leaning towards the Libran on the other side of it, you know, the Libra, the divine feminine, the woman, the quiet, the thinker, the, you know what I mean, the Venus loving aesthetic and stuff, like emotionality and stuff. So we started out in that space, like, just like, you know, getting into our feels, and the ritual was about love and sensuality and intimacy and all those layers. And then now we're transitioning to Sagittarius season, I'm like, I'm not tired, but because Scorpio masculine energy don't sit down. I realized that them men can go, they can go, and they can go, and they can go. They channel that fire from the Sagittarius really, really well. So that transition was weird. I never really liked the end of months either. Like, the 20s are always like a weird transitional period. Like, the energy is like, you know, we're moving into a new season. We're moving into a whole new season. So the energy is adjusting. It's flowing into a whole new realm and space. Embodiment. It's hard. So November was really hard. Like, it's so funny. November Sagittarians, like, I don't care that much for them. It's sad to say, and if you're November Sagittarius and I really love you, then I really love you. But usually I'm like, especially with like dating, I'm always like, there's something about them that I'm like, oh my god, stop talking or go away. I don't know why. Like, I can recall so many November Sagittarians where I'm like, yo, they're annoying. Terrible. But anyway, we're back with another weekly intuitive tarot reading. I miss y'all so much. I was thinking about this so much. So I know I'm going to try harder. I'm going to show up more. I'm going to make sure that, you know, this expands and grows. Like, I want to get a camera. I want to be able to, like, so much. And it's like, you have so many dreams and you're just working towards them, and the journey is the dream, you know. But when you're like, you know where you want to be, you're just like, oh my god, like, put me there already. But it's the journey that matters. Nice segue into our, well, not really, but nice segue into our Sagittarius energy, I should say. Because it's the journey. Like, Sagittarius is the journey. So now we're coming into December. I'm going to pull up, my bad, the chart, because I said September? December. Did I say December? I don't know. We have some really cool things happening December for us, sacred rituals, and me, my readings and stuff. I guess I could talk about them now while I pull up the chart. So for December, the offerings now we have is deep dream analysis. I'm so excited about that because I love dreams. I'm obsessed with dreams. I've done a few analysis over the course of my spiritual practice, the growth of my spiritual practice, and I love them. So that's the new December offering. They are $44, I believe. This is like in depth of like going into like the symbolisms and stuff, and it's an open conversation between me and you. You just send me, I have a form that I created, a dream inquiry, where you write out your dream You list the symbols that you saw, the energies that you picked up, the feelings that you felt, and then we could just go into the symbolisms and stuff. It's interesting because if you're deeply connected to your spiritual space internally, soul, your dreams are big messengers for you. They send messages. A great way for the divine and for your spiritual guidance team, like your system, to send you messages in your dreams. Your most, like, one of your most vulnerable spaces, you know. And so you can have a lot of the same dreams over and over, especially if you're having to heal certain aspects of yourself, of your life. And sometimes it's hard to decipher. I've been having a lot of dreams, like deep dreams lately. And since the December ritual has begun, it's like a formation, I should say. It's masculine energy, and it's definitely with dreams, a lot of dreaming, a lot of night, a lot of rest and restoration, a lot of like hibernation, integration type of things, quietness, stillness, you know, and developing like internal, I should say, not developing, but like in strengthening your internal compass, habits, you know, creating better habits, understanding disciplines and determinations and ambitions, like those masculine concepts, you know. So that's our December offering. So far, I know that I'm not going to be doing any rituals in January or February. Yeah, March for sure, because it's spring equinox. But I feel like I'm moving into a different space and realm, and I need to focus more on other projects that I'm working on that I want to really grow. And the rituals, even though they're only 7 days of the month, they take so much energy, and I need so much for them. And it's like, I'm just gonna take a break and see. Maybe I won't do a spring equinox one. I don't know. I have the one from the year before that I could turn into like you can do it on your own type of thing and offer it that way. But we'll see. Like, I just know for now, like, it's this feeling like I need much more rest, and maybe like my path is just like guiding me somewhere else, still in the spiritual world, still servicing you, like being there for you, with you, and growing and expanding in myself so we can share this with the world and raise the collective energy, you know. Like, you're important. What you do for yourself is what you share with the world. So you have to heal. Like, you have, and you know, you think about, oh, it's just me, but you are like a pebble in the ocean. That pebble is still vibrating rings of whatever you call that. You drop a pebble into a lake or whatever, and it goes and it has the rings vibrating out of it. That goes very long and very far. And you don't know who it touches and what it ignites and what it expands out to, because sometimes those rings turn into other rings. Like, I want you to really, really, really think about this. And if you have to Google it. Like, YouTube the shit out of this. Drop a pebble or a rock into the water. It creates those vibrational rings. I don't know what they're called. I'm going to look it up now. Not now, but later, because I don't want to spend too much time looking up online, because I don't know what words to look for, but I know what I'm seeing in my mind. I hope you can see it too. Drop a pebble. Ring, 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 ring. And sometimes, and it'll go for a long time if you pay attention, and sometimes it'll break up into other rings. Like, you don't know the impact you have on other people's lives. Someone brought that up to me the other day, and I said, he brought it up to me in a way of like, you don't know the impact you have on men. And I say, I rarely consider that. Like, rarely. Like, I understand my impact, but I rarely consider it up against men, and like men I'm dating or whatever. Here or there. Just a story to throw in the middle of that. But yeah, that's December energy. I hope that made sense. I hope that you could keep up with that, because it's a lot happening right now, and I hope that's a lot happening for you too, so that we can just keep growing and evolving and moving forward. Like, be busy, be booked and busy in your own right, and understand your levels of restoration, but be booked and busy for yourself. So let's see. So there's a new moon on December 4th, I think. Actually, New moon in Scorpio? That don't make no sense. Waning crescent. New moon in Sagittarius. The moon was new on December 3rd. It's December 4th. Which is Jay-Z's birthday and also my father's birthday, so that's going to be a great day for me in terms of healing, because I definitely do not wish my father a happy birthday. But that's like my personal reasons. Corey's home from school. Oh my god. You heard her? She's like, I'm back. These past couple of days with these kids have been crazy, man. Crazy. But neither here nor there. So the moon is going to be new in Sagittarius. I think that's a solar eclipse. I think. Let me know. The sun is in Sag and Mercury's in Sag. So those big three energies here. Mercury Sagittarius. Watch what you say. Mercury Sagittarius people, they don't shut up. They do not shut up. They don't know how. Venus is still in Capricorn, which is nice. We're in like the final essences and energies of building long-lasting connections. So that's good. Mars and Scorpio. So all the energy is pretty much not the same, but it's just moving within and of each other. So I'm going to do a reading. I created a new spread for December. This is December 1st. This is for December 1st to December 8th. 7 days. Wednesday to Wednesday. Hopefully that can keep that up for as long as you can. So I'm going to do the spread. So the last reading we did for November, I can't remember exactly, but what we talked about, I can't remember, but it was definitely about love. I think it was in the hotel room. I don't know. I have no idea. Pull that back. We ended our love season pretty nicely. Meeting new people. I know I met new people. Understanding where we stand and who we are in terms of love and what we want. Okay? Because you're just going to keep manifesting literally what you're vibrating at. So what do you want? Vibrate there. Just vibrate there. Like you have no other. What's the other option? Vibrate where you don't want. Vibrate where you don't want. Vibrate where the things you don't want are. So you can manifest those things. That's a waste of time. We don't have time to waste. And we don't have time to waste. Like, we don't have time. Alright. So this is the deep dream tarot spread. I'm going to share it on my Instagram so you can see it later. Because I was going to turn it into the video, but it's not the same. It's just going to talk about our dreams and stuff. And we can just transition from love to dreams. Like, literally, like, our dreams that we have when we sleep, our dreams of our life, and our dreams of our, like, I want to call it the Akashic records. That's like a concept that makes it make sense, like explains it easily, but it's like the dreams of our past in all our lives, you know what I mean? And the Akashic records is like your timeline, your story, like who you were and what you were doing, what's your mission here, you know, over and over and over, every time, over and over, same thing. But I mean, like, the dreams of those lifetimes and like actualizing those things from those times, you know. So the first question is, the heart. This card that represents my dream. Why did I have this dream? This is a new spread, so I'm gonna need my book. Why did I have this dream? So in the essence of this, right now that we're in the space of like full integration, this is what it feels like collectively, like we're all just like gathering ourselves. I want you to think about a dream that you had recently. Okay, just briefly why dreams are important this month. So we are in the energy of the winter solstice. This is the shortest and the coldest day of the year. This is like the beginning of winter. So December is like true, like if the Hermit card is hibernation, self-isolation in a healthy way, learning, integrating yourself and your lessons and everything. If that's the energy of Virgo in fall equinox, by the time the Hermit is in his comfort and like relaxed in his hibernation, it's the winter solstice. It's December. It's, you know what I mean? It's then. It's now. In hibernation, full hibernation mode. So now that we're moving into December, it just feels like we're like in this space of time traveling within ourselves. Like I've been feeling like I'm here, but I'm not here, if that makes sense. Like I'm here in my now, my present, but also I'm in the other realities that I've lived. I'm gathering information and knowledge from all the other spaces that I've been in before. My dreams have been, if your dreams have been so vivid in the past few days, past couple weeks, that's your sign that your dreams are talking to you, that you need to visit the astral plane and world and it's so loud, and assess what's going on there and bring it to your conscious waking mind and learn the lesson in all the different realms and planes. Another indicator of you, if you're experiencing this, another like sign or symptom of this dream-like reality right now is constantly scrolling. It's like scrolling. And I was gonna say social media, but you don't have to scroll on social media to be a scroller. And the mind of like, y'all, this is crazy. Because I'm thinking of everything that came up in the past few weeks that made me like, just like confirmed that we're in this space, right? But I'm gonna just like try to go one by one. But the development of, or the sharing of the development of the metaverse ideas and the NFT and the crypto and this digital financial space, right? Where it's not about what you have in the physical realm, it's about what you have in the digital realm. It's about how much coin base you can gather. It's about what's happening in the ether. It's of the mind. Now, whether it's of the human mind, like your personal mind, or of the mind of another construct, it's still of the mind, because this ether digital world is not real. It's constructed. A mind of a mind, right? So in order for this system to be sustainable and like to thrive, it needs the energy from minds paying attention to it, paying attention to it. So the scrolling, whether you're scrolling on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or your Google News or apps or TV channels or watching the news on TV, is a scrolling. Watching Netflix, binge watching a show, that's an essence of scrolling. Like your mind is literally just like going through the movement of like, here's a story and moving past, and here's another story and moving past, and here's another story and moving past, and you're just like absorbing everything, and you're just like doing like this. If you're finding yourself constantly on social media, the, of the different various social media. It's just like your mind warped into that stuff sometimes, and even then you could be doing this and not even being present there. Like, you could just be scrolling and your mind is doing other things, making lists and figuring out what to do next, and worrying and stressing and whatever you find your mind doing. Whatever it is, in this essence of scrolling, it's like a surrendering your energy to these concepts outside of yourself. So it's a dreamlike state, because now you understand that we can create realities within our minds and concepts within our minds based on what we're seeing in our essence of scrolling, right? So now we're moving into the space of darkness, seasonal depression, sadness, being home all the time. And, I'm thinking about my northeast weather, how it feels in the northeast, where it's, seasons here. People who live in other places where it's sunny all the time might not get this as intensely as anyone from that's living in a place where we have these seasons, and I'm just going by like 4 seasons, but it's still an energy, right? The space changes. It's not always going to be 99 fucking degrees, right? It could go as low as 80 degrees if it fucking wants to in the dead smack of winter, but it's still moving, and it's still like, you know what I mean? But I'm saying this in like the coldness of the northeast. It's getting darker, it's colder, we're not doing as much as we used to, and if we are, it's not the same. If you're not with the intimate partner, it's cold, it's lonely. Figuring this shit out, it's hard. So this is why the dreams are, my dreams have been very potent. It's been coming up. I watched Inception the other day. So it's like, this is the perfect time. So that's why we're doing dreams. Now let's get into, I had another theory about it, but maybe it'll come up in the reading, hopefully. So the first question, the heart. Card that represents my dream. Why did I have this dream? So as I'm shuffling right now, I want you to channel the dream that you most recently remember, or a dream that comes up often, or a dream that was very powerful and you can never forget it. So I want you to channel that dream. The energy of that dream, if you remember how you felt, if you remember the colors, you remember where you were, you remember what you were doing, you remember what happened, just remember all the details of that dream. Just pull it up in your conscious mind. Think about it. That's it. Why did we have this dream? Do we want them to fall, or do we want to pull? Let's pull, because I don't want to play. I don't want to play. Oh, 3 of Wands. This card, 3 of Wands and 3 of Pentacles, keeps coming up for me. Okay. Bottom of the deck is 5 of Swords. Okay. 3 of Wands. And I'm also using the Afro-Brazilian deck. Tarot deck. 3 of Wands. It's really giving, I watched The Matrix, and I'm watching this Matrix 2 Reloaded, or whatever it's called, right now, currently, and it's giving red pill, blue pill. But guess what? Now, what's funny is that there's 2 red pills and 1 blue pill. And also, if we want to think about it, there could be 2 blue pills and 2 red pills, because the blue pill, the second blue pill, is the cloth that's around her waist. The dream that I channeled has something to do with trees and roots. And there's food at the base of all these trees. You had this dream because you needed to be reminded that that your spiritual connection is highly important, like the most important. Like connecting to your real human space and soul, body, is most important. your healthy mind, your healthy heart. Those things are important. It's interesting because I've been in a space of wanting to gain more tangible material things to feel like, not even to impress anyone. I don't care about none of that shit. I don't care about, like keeping up with any Joneses. Like, I just want it for me, for whatever lack of stability that I find that keeps coming up in my mind, right? And so I've been wanting to, like, okay, well, if you can get this, if you can get that, then you'll feel better, And I keep hearing, like, you will not feel better with the more things that you have. Like, even if you look at it now, I have all these books. I still buy more books. You would think, oh, you should be so satisfied with all these books. You should be so satisfied with all the things you have. And you turn around, and you're not, because you keep going out and buying more books. The things don't matter, because the things will always be. There's always going to be a new thing. There's always going to be a new tarot deck. There's always going to be a new form of water. There's always going to be a new makeup product. A new shoe, a new coat, a new party to go to, a new car to buy, a new house to live in, new grocery store to shop in. There's always going to be something new, but you know what's never new? You know what's always familiar and the same? Nature, trees, you, the sky, the open sky. This literally looks like a patch of, well, my family of trees in Prospect Park. Like, literally, it looks like the space in the park that I know of. The Three of Wands is also a card of, Three is the Holy Trinity. Three is a collective energy. Three is and the Wands is like a fire. Working with your soul tribe to ignite a certain layer and level of human compassion and empathy. Human compassion and empathy. We have to care. We have to care. Why did I have this dream? That was the question. Question number 2, the mind. What are the important subconscious symbolisms and energies of my dream? So as you're channeling this dream, Seven of Swords, and I think this is King of Swords. Swords. It made you think. It made you really think about who you were and what you were doing. There was a lot of wood there. Maybe like a wooden home, or there's more wood from these trees. This is literally the dream that I had. All these different... What are the important subconscious symbolisms and energies of my dream? Pay attention to what it made you think about yourself. And what it made you feel about how you perceive yourself. It's about a perception. What do you think about yourself after you have this dream? How did you wake up and feel? Like, were you like empowered? Like, for the dream that I'm channeling, I felt so empowered. I felt so connected. Like, it was the most insane dream I've ever had. And it's crazy that I thought about it just now, because I was gonna channel. I mean, I didn't have no idea, because I when I say think about your most recent dream, or most like what's the dream that's reoccurring, so many different dreams came up. Like the one I had recently, and I'm like, okay, which one am I gonna land on? As soon as I thought of this one, I said, oh shit, we're gonna land on that one, okay. And it's like the symbolisms in these cards, it's crazy. So I hope that they resonate with you. These are butterflies. So if your dream had butterflies and flowers, the butterflies to flowers too is giving. Seven of Swords, it's like allow it to form new spiritual beliefs. It's hard to do that. It is, because we're so used to One, I think this hardest to do with spiritual beliefs is why people have such a weird energy behind people who practice unconventional spiritual belief systems, is because your spirituality is your stability, your safety. So it's not the house, it's not the husband, it's not the wife, it's not the car, it's not the job that's paying more than the last job you've had. Like, it's your spiritual space, how you think about yourself and what you truly believe, and allowing that to be flexible. Because the spiritual world is vast, but that fear comes from lack of security. So when you are faced with having to question what you believe, it makes you feel uneasy, because now the rug is pulled from underneath you. The matrix is pulled from underneath you, and now you have to look at yourself and say, what am I truly believing, and who am I in this space right now with all these moving pieces around me? The sun, with all these planets moving around me, revolving around me, because nobody knows. Who am I in this space right here? Who am I? And not, oh, I'm a beautiful black woman. No. Who are you in this space right here? Who are you? Where do you come from? Right? Blue was probably in your dream, so pay attention to the color blue if it was. If you have to think a lot and strategize, try to channel. I want you to kind of, this is one thing too, I've been open to. I haven't actually started practicing it yet, but of course I'm like halfway there. Lucid dreaming and astral traveling. So one of the key points of that is, especially that I picked up for myself, is to go back to that dream you had and see if you can sleep your way back into it, like fall back into it when you're going to sleep. The practice before sleep is like, it could be extensive if you are called to that, but like clean bed, clean sheets, showered, I think like washed hair or something like that. That's like extensive, but it could be your thing. Tea, sleep-inducing tea, dream-inducing tea, mugwort herbs are really good for that. If you smoke a mugwort, if you smoke weed, you can smoke with mugwort, which is great for dreams. But like traveling back to that place so that you can uncover more and more. So I think the aspect, one of the challenging aspects of lucid dreaming, and this is like one of the, what do you call it, like one of the core like energies of Inception, the movie, was being able to create every point of the dream as you went along in the dream. And I think that's like the big part of lucid dreaming, is being able to know you're in the dream and knowing like you're in the dream in every moment. So when I think about that in terms of the Matrix, right? So I'm watching these movies, and if you watched them, great. If you haven't, I don't know if it's a spoiler alert, it doesn't matter, go watch them if you want to, if not, whatever. But one of the things is that I noticed that in the first movie, there was this energy of, if you don't believe, if you don't know inside internally, then you will die. There's agents shooting guns at you, and if you really think that it's real, you're dead. So you have to always know in every minute that passes by that this is a dream. Every time you have to remind yourself, I'm in a dream, I'm in a dream, I'm in a dream. And so in the beginning of the second movie, I noticed that Keanu Reeves, his character Neo, was so confident in himself. He just walked around with that still mind and that purpose and that power. And it was like he never has a moment of doubting that he knows what's going on here. And that's one of the things that we do often as humans, is like we'll be in a good space. And I can admit that I was there this past week too. Be in a good space, know the truth, and then along the way, doubt creeps in and thoughts creep in, and they just like throw you off your equilibrium. But at this point, we can't do that anymore. We can't afford to do that anymore, because it kills you. It kills your spirit. And like, come on. Using the logical mind here, losing the logical mind. If you know the truth that this is a dream, what else are you searching for? Something to negate that? You trying to kill yourself? What the fuck? That's what it feels like. Question 3. That's crazy. That's the mind. That was the mind. Look at these swords. The mind. King of Swords is giving... The King of Swords is air sign energy. So Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. And right now, the only planets in Aquarius is Jupiter and Saturn. And Saturn in Aquarius is wonderful. I'm going to talk about that later down the line. North Node in Gemini. So there's a lot of like free thinking, free flowing. Especially when it comes to not, I wouldn't say developing, but giving roots, like deeper roots to your dreams and your goals, and just like maintaining the discipline and the work and the effort. It takes a lot of like mental agility, like strength. That's the mind. Number 3, the soul. What message is my spiritual guidance delivering through this dream? I feel like 2 and 3, when I started to make this spread, I was like, 2 and 3 sound like a lot the same, but I need both of them. What message is my spiritual guidance delivering through this dream? Another sword. Oh man, Knight of Sword is literally like, the Knight of Sword is like, look back at number 2. Like, work on your mind. Work on the strength of your mind. How do you work on your mind? I'm thinking about Sudoku, math. I'm thinking about reading, writing, present mind. Because when you're present, you have to like live in your moment. And then when you're living in your moment is where you know, you're always faced with having to remind yourself of the truth. So by living at every moment, I have to keep saying to myself over and over, I'm in a dream. I'm in a dream. That's just like one affirmation you can say. But I'm in a dream. I'm in a dream. I'm in a dream. Every moment should be embedded and ingrained in your mind. There are certain things that you can have ingrained in your mind. It's like an essence of the 10 Commandments. But there needs to be like much more like humane, like very like spiritually induced commandments that you're a human being, and these probably are unwritten rules. I mean, why would you think it's okay to kill someone, take a life from someone? Why do you think that that's okay? There's certain things that's just like energetically, humanly, no, like you should not do those things. And those are like ingrained in our minds, in our subconscious, unwritten rules. There are certain things that can be ingrained and instilled that is productive and for the greater good. Focus on those things. You know, when you're doing your healing, your spiritual work, we can tend to focus on the things that doesn't serve us, and like, what did our parents do to us to hurt us, and what happened here, and what happened there, and no, big no. And it's like, what about the yeses? What about the yes? What about the I learned this and I like that and I'm keeping that? This happened and I learned this lesson and I like that. I'm keeping that. I'm ingraining that in my mind because I like it. Still maintaining your flexibility, because air is air. Swords is air. How quick are you with your sword? Question 4. The lesson. What lessons am I being called to learn? I feel like we just got all these answers everywhere already. 4 of Pentacles. 4 of Swords. So 2 4s. Okay. This is our first pentacle of the spread, and it's giving, and that tangibility that I was talking about before, like wanting to manifest those tangibles. And as human beings, we all want to have the great, nice, next best thing, because that's ascension. If we're going to ascend in the mind, we're going to ascend in the physical, and there is no space where we never not want for the next best thing, whether it's the next best food, child, partner, house, car, career, hairstyle. Like, it doesn't matter. We always want the next best thing. And so in that growth of the pentacle, now we have the Four of Pentacle, where it's stability. Where's our understanding of our stability? There's a gathering of, there's a reverence to, an honoring or appreciation to, a gratitude, and a gathering of like minds. That Three of Wands is giving that too. But the like minds in the Three of Wands, rather than Three of Pentacles or Three of Cups, where that those cards usually in different tarot decks are like communing with other people. This is like communing with yourself. This is communing with nature. This is communing with God, right? Now look at this card right here. This is a commune. Like there's for some reason I'm seeing that there's 4 people coming here, going to take their place to eat this food. Like, what's the point of one person being here with a sword, with all these swords? Like, there's a communing, and even here, we're there together. It's like mirrored self, so a lot of like you are just you, to you, and you. Like, nobody else matters but you. In commune, in conversation with the divine, with the elder, with the wisdom, with the knowledge, with the higher self. Food is fuel. Food is fuel. 4 is food is fuel. Fuel. 4. Number 4. The lesson. What's up with this 444? So 444. Like, this is crazy out here. 444. Stability and trusting that you're on the right path. And when I say path, you're walking this path with your feet. So get some really good shoes, comfortable, warm, whatever shoes for you, and walk your path. And create in mind, in meeting of the minds, instabilities, create. Question number 5, the integration. What next step is my dream encouraging? Pat, how can I apply this dream to my real life? What next step is my dream encouraging? How can I apply this dream to my real life? Us, for us. I wrote it in like I, me, my, but it's for us. Seven of Wands. Keep fighting? I don't like how that sounds. That's what came up. Because honestly, in the past few weeks, I've been feeling like I'm tired. I'm tired of always having to fight for myself. And this is literally this. It looks like a man to a woman, but that's just you to you. Your divine feminine coming into alignment and harmonizing with your divine masculine. Now, one of the big things about this ritual, and this is probably why I feel called to not do any rituals in the beginning of the year, is because now we're not in a space anymore of separateness. Oh, the masculine, oh, the feminine, oh, man does this, oh, woman does that, oh, blah, blah, blah. We're not doing that anymore. That's dead. We are in true, like, when we talk about harmonizing our masculine and feminine aspects, we're past that too. Like, we are in oneness, complete oneness, where we don't see ourselves separate from divine masculine energy within and our counterparts in the external. There's nothing different about you and your masculine counterpart, whether physical or internal. We both want the same things, and this is what we need to focus on. Not how we get there, not the approach, because the masculine is going to approach it with a different energy than the feminine does. This is just naturally true. There are different jobs for different things. In nature, you don't see these energies trying to fight each other and trying to destroy each other. They work together because this is how you maintain the ecosystem. Humans are like the lowest of the low because we literally fight each other, thinking that that's going to restore the balance that we all so desperately seek and need, and doesn't. It won't. When that fighting is no unifying, right? We need to look at ourselves. And teamwork, partnership. We are in the same team together. That's one of the lessons I'm learning recently with the man that I'm dating now. Hope I'm dating. It's like so weird. It's like, even when you ascend in your relationships and like the people you're manifesting are better, there's more green flags than red flags. There's still so much that's like, oh my God, I didn't get a text. But that's like, it doesn't matter. Like, one of the things I learned outside of what I learned that I was going to share, but I'm going to share it, but I'm going to share this first. He said, it's not, everything is not in the physical. Sometimes things are in the spiritual and the mental, emotional capacity. And sometimes texting is just another form of like communication. It's not the only form of communication. But that's like a dating sequence. You know, I'm not into like talking about very interpersonal relationships on here and doing the whole love reading for you and who you're dating and who you're with. Those things can become really like, I like to watch them, I enjoy them, but it's at some point it's always like, we're just experiencing what's happening here. Like, it doesn't matter what the fucking cards say sometimes. Like, that's why you always take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But anyway, one thing I had learned with him in dating, I think I gave that already. I shared it. That doesn't matter about all that texting and stuff. Partnership. Because I keep telling myself, like, in the past I would say, he's doing whatever he's doing, or, you know, whatever guy I'm dating, he's out with this girl, or he's doing this, or I don't trust it, I fuck him, whatever, I'm deleting him, I'm blocking him. That's fighting. That's creating opposition. That's defensiveness. That's the shit that we said not to do. You're in partnership. You're in partnership with the divine, and this is all about your divine masculine within and feminine within. Because whoever you're dating in the external world, whether it be a man or woman, whether they are masculine presenting or feminine presenting, doesn't matter. They are literally a reflection of what you feel inside. They are the mirror. No more fighting. Vandy Newton, I can't remember her Nigerian real name. She was on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. And if you can find that clip, I want you to watch it because it's wonderful. Because even though, and this is a part of the destruction of the celebrity the reality of celebrity and fame, because it doesn't matter about any of that, right? But she's like talking about her, I think her new documentary that's coming out, it's called President, and about the activism work that she does, the advocacy work, or whatever you want to call it. She was talking about how she didn't do it for her country, her home country, Zimbabwe, in her 20 plus years of activism, all these different things. But the way that she talked about what she cared about was like, it was this passion there that was so like real and genuine and raw. And she said, like, humanity, we have to care. Like, it's not about You're not going to get any care from getting your news and scrolling on Instagram. Like she said, I started my activism. People usually get into activism. I'm hoping I'm saying the right word. Because they were subjected to pain and suffering, or they witnessed it. And looking online at videos about the pain of the world is not witnessing anything. You're just being informed about what's going on. Witnessing is your sensual senses, your senses. You are sensually connected to what's happening here. So you can care. So you can care. And not so you can, but that's what usually happens. You end up caring because you're like, oh my God, like yesterday this is like, I've been struggling with this for the past like 24 hours, 12 hours, whatever. It's not even been that long. But I took my son to the ER last night in the middle of the night because he was, he's sick. The twins are sick. They have the nose, the mucus, the coughing, regular sick shit. I'm not sick. I'm not going for it. But it just said he had labored breathing, and I just felt like really like nervous. So I was like, let me just take him to the ER and make sure he's okay, and everything was great. But around 2:30 maybe, in the 2 o'clock hour, EMT, whatever you call them, EMT officer, whatever, came up to the front desk, and it was quiet because it's the middle of the night. Came and the room that we were in, the triage room that we were in, or whatever you call it, was right by the like nurses station, so we could hear and see everything. The EMT lady came in and said, we have 8 children. And as soon as she said 8 children, I was like, what? She said, we have 8 children. And the nurse, and just the conversation was like, the nurse was like, 8 children? Like, what's going on here? And who's watching the children? And what's happening here? And they were all siblings. They were a Latino family. They were all same mother. They look at them. They had dark hair and pale skin, like Latinos. All of them looked the same. And I think I only saw 4, but those 4, like, they all look the same. And I'm like sitting there and I'm listening to them. Before I saw them, I said to myself, please let me be out of here before I see them. And as I said that, here comes like an officer walk by, and then here comes the children walk behind him, and then another officer, and I'm like, and it just killed me. That's witnessing. That's witnessing. What are all these children doing in the ER in the middle of the night? What happened? Where's their mom? Where's their dad? How did we get here? Witnessing. This is witnessing. So another thing that I suggest doing too, or like the message is coming through, is astral traveling to actual places in the world. So if it's a difficulty for you to travel, you can astral travel to different places in the world, and just like gather the energy of this place. Use the symbolism that you have gathered already from what you know in this world. If you know that, let's just say Asia has tundras of mountains, and or I don't know, or India they live on dirt roads, and like whatever the fuck you know about these places that we in this world. I'm just like randomly sprouting out fucking things about different places. If I'm correct, I'm correct. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Whatever you know about these places that you've already gathered in this world, and then doing your research. Oh shit, I got 30 seconds remaining. Do that. I'm gonna stop it here, and then I'm gonna save it and then do another one. Okay? So this will be part 1. I'm gonna stop.